if you're launching your business or launching your product range and then starting all that activity, you've got to wait till people move through that funnel. And I keep saying it can take 30 to 70 days to get people through that funnel. So that's the hypothesis here, is that the selling is done 30 days before your launch, not 30 days after. So for you side hustlers out there, I want you to understand that you've got to be marketing your business before it launches, not when it launches. There's no point kicking off your funnel when you launch. That's a mistake. I'm going to talk about executing the perfect product drop. And before I do that, I want to give a big shout out to two of my clients, Duco, who recently made $3 million in a day by executing a great product drop, and who is Elijah Perfume, who hit a $70,000 day recently launching a new product. So big shout out to those two. And that leads me perfectly into what I'm about to talk about in this episode, which is executing the perfect product drop. All right, so we've all been there. We've all dropped either a brand new business, launched a new business, or we're an existing business. We've dropped a product. There are typically three scenarios that play out when you drop a new product, and here they are. Scenario one, you drop your new product or you launch your new business, and sales are okay. Sales are pretty consistent for 30 days. You get a little spike, and things go okay for 30 days or so. Not a bad launch. The second is that sales completely fall flat. You see no improvement on sales at all. It's kind of like the product or the business didn't even launch. So a new business might have no sales. An existing business might launch and just do no sales of the new product or minimal. The third scenario is you drop the product or you launch the range or you launch the new business and sales absolutely boom on day one and do kind of 10 or 12 times the volume of a normal sales day. And so those three stages are really influenced by two main things. One is the hype phase, how well you've hyped up your product, and we're going to talk about the hype phase shortly. And two, of course, is the product itself. So if your sales have fallen flat, but you've hyped pretty well, there's a chance that the product market fit just isn't there and you haven't taken a decent product to market. On the flip side, if you know that the product is great and the feedback's good and you've nailed that product niche, but the sales are flat, then you probably haven't hyped. You probably haven't marketed before the launch and you've waited to launch to then start marketing, which is a mistake. So I'm going to address a few of those different scenarios in my go-to-market product or business launch that I'm going to talk about now. So what I'm about to talk about is my 5-step approach to the perfect GTM go-to-market launch of either a business or a product. And where this comes from is I studied a lot of Kickstarters and Indiegogos, and I actually interviewed some of those founders because I noticed that some of these crowd-funded products were launching single products and getting up to $6 million in pre-sales, or they call them pledges. And I was fascinated by that. So I interviewed a couple of these founders to get a few ideas. Now, one thing that they do really, really well is they told me that 90% of those sales, up to $6 million, comes in the first 48 hours. And then if you've missed that 48 hours, it fizzles. So what they're actually doing is they're marketing at least 30 days before the drop. Why? Because it takes time for people to learn about what you're doing and then be ready to purchase in that moment. So the call to action for these people was basically build an email and SMS database. So they were driving their traffic and their brand interest, and the call to action was don't buy, sign up, because the product wasn't ready. And sometimes they're incentivizing the sign up with an early offer or a discount or a special VIP access. Fine. So there's a carrot there. But really, and it takes guts to spend a bit of money on advertising and so on and not have a return. But the return was paying them back massively on day one. So that's the hypothesis here, is that the selling is done 30 days before your launch, not 30 days after. So for you side hustlers out there, I want you to understand that you've got to be marketing your business before it launches, not when it launches. Okay, so let's go into step one. Step one means what do you need to do? 3 to 4 weeks out, so about 30 days out, you need to have all your product photography done. That means having your samples in, getting organized. So I want to say that your campaign imagery needs to be done, your e-commerce, your website imagery, all of that needs to be done and dusted 3 to 4 weeks out from your intended launch. Step two, about 2 weeks out from your intended launch, I would turn all your products on in Shopify, but without any inventory available. So in other words, you want people to be able to see them and browse them and get curious. What I'd be doing there is having a back-in-stock app or a wish list so that people can reserve what they're interested in, and you can actually start to see, using the back-in-stock app, which products are being reserved And what will happen there is that when you do release the product, emails and SMSs will get sent to those people, and those people will come straight back to their cart and buy. Now, what you also want to be doing there is sending a bit of traffic, Facebook ads and so on, turn a bit of your advertising on. You want to be sending traffic to those product pages. What you're going to get there is eyeballs on the product, and we know that it can take at least 30 days for someone to discover a brand and a product, do their homework, and then feel confident buying. So we're driving traffic to let them do their research. The call to action there, we want them signing up. Sign up either on the Notify Me app or on your email, on Klaviyo or Ecommerce or whatever it is. And you might consider giving them a little bit of a carrot to sign up. 24 hours early access, 6 hours early access, where you lock the site and you give these people a password to enter the site beforehand. That can work. You might elect to give them a bundle discount. Early adopters get 20% off when they buy 2 items. A little bit of a carrot to get people to sign up is a good idea. So the call to action is sign up. And then the other reason that you're driving traffic to the product page is that when you do go live, you'll have some retargeting, some DPA, some dynamic ads actually serving that product that the person browsed. So your ads are likely to be a little bit more impactful when the product is ready and when you have those customers in the bottom of the funnel. So what you're really doing is you're turning your funnel on before you launch. You're letting people take time to get to the top of the funnel, work their way into the middle of the funnel, which is having a look at the product and engaging with it, checking you out on socials. And so what that means is by the time your product or your business launches, you'll have some customers in the potential customers in the bottom of the funnel. And so it takes time to move through that funnel. If you're launching your business or launching your product range and then starting all that activity, you've got to wait till people move through that funnel. And I keep saying it can take 30 to 70 days to get people through that funnel. So you get frustrated then that you don't get those day one sales, and then you can lose interest and you stop, or you don't want to run ads, and your business fizzles out. So allow time to move people through that funnel. The top of the funnel, even the middle of the funnel, can be done before you launch your business or your product, ensuring that by the time you launch, you actually have this nice pool in the bottom of the funnel. And those are the people that you retarget to who should be ready to buy. What that's going to result in, again, is high day one sales, which keeps the energy high, keeps the motivation high. There's no point kicking off your funnel when you launch. That's a mistake. The top of the funnel and the middle of the funnel should start before you launch. So turning on those Facebook ads, allowing your products to be live on the site, not able to be bought, no inventory behind them, just able to be viewed and browsed, wish listed, added to cart, back in stock app. Those are really effective ways of nurturing those potential customers through the funnel. Stage 3, about a week, 1 to 2 weeks out from launch, you want to be seeding your products to influencers, or at least chasing up influencers that you might be working with, asking them to post, wearing the product, using the product, whatever it is that you're selling, demonstrating the product yourself on socials. You want to be letting people in behind the scenes. So if you're doing clothing, you might do a behind the clothing, this is what I'm launching, guys, just want to show you my new product. You start talking about it on organic socials. That's part of the discovery process, educating people on the product, making sure that your product's starting to pop around with certain key influencers. As a side hustler, that could be just your friends or some key people that you know. You might have done some gifting. You've had product come in early. You've done some gifting. You're chasing it up. Hey, I hope you like that product I sent you. Do you mind posting it? That should happen before the launch. And remembering here that all of your comms, your communication, should be talking about your launch day and time. So you might say, launching on the 28th of this month at 6 p.m. Really strong, calling out the time. Not just saying coming soon. No, when, what day, what time. Set your alarm clocks. You need to tell people this is a big event. 6 p.m., 28th, coming soon, limited edition access, whatever it is. Hype them up. Really let them know that this is going to sell out. This could be gone. You snooze, you lose. What we want to be also doing in that 1 to 2 weeks out from your launch is sending your first email. Hey guys, thanks for signing up. This is what we're doing coming soon. Don't forget, 6 p.m. on the 28th. Here's a sneak peek. So again, that little email just to stoke those customers a little bit. So we're starting to hit them from all angles. So 1 to 2 weeks out, just stoking those socials, stoking those influencers a bit. And again, sending that first email, set your alarm clocks, product coming soon. The fourth step of the go-to-market launch is 24 hours out. So 24 hours out, you should be making a big song and dance about this. Everywhere, socials, everywhere you can. Tomorrow's the day, 6 p.m. we launch. VIP access starts in 6 hours. You got to be hyping that up. I'm sending another email 24 hours before. I'm also sending an SMS to people that have signed up saying, hey guys, don't forget, tomorrow's the day, 6 p.m. You've signed up. It means you're interested. Get ready, 6 p.m. tomorrow, 6 p.m. tomorrow. You've got to hit those comms hard. So 24 hours, you need to be really bringing your followers into a crescendo so they're ready. If you're 24 hours from launch and you're not talking about it, there's no activity on social, I'm telling you to push that launch back. And I can tell by looking at your socials, if there's engagement, if there's questions, if there's teasing of product and content. If there's not, push back your launch because you're going to have a dud launch. So you've 24 hours out. People have got to be ready to purchase from you. Okay, so the fifth step is on the day of launch. The first thing is all your Facebook ads when you do go live. So if it's 6 o'clock and you've gone live, you need to change your ads to, instead of saying coming soon, VIP early access, sign up, live now, shop now, shop now. So it's important that you change all of the ads. Another email going out, guys, stores open, shop now. If you did use VIP early access, you would have done that 6 hours before or 12 hours before. The site would have been locked. The day of launch, email, SMS, we're now live. Web notifications, which is, I use Push-Owl for that. We're live. Socials, we're live. Everything is flipping towards live now. Go nuts. Organic socials, change your ads. And this is the moment that you've been waiting for. Everything switches to now live. Call to action is no longer sign up. Call to action is buy. So a few of my favorite tools and platforms to execute this playbook include Klaviyo for email and SMS, sometimes SMS Bump or Yotpo for SMS. I like Push-Owl for desktop notifications. I've mentioned Shopify. I like Shopify for the ability to quickly just update your inventory or enable a product without inventory and just to do all those changes yourself. Meta ads, obviously Facebook ads, Instagram, TikTok for your organic socials, anywhere where any social media platforms that you're on is where you should be leveraging heavily. In terms of finding influencers, I still like approaching influencers directly through social channels. Hey, we'd like to work with you. I encourage brands to ask, to reach out to 20 people a week. You can use programs like Influee, which is where you can, find influencers and so on. But a couple of good ones there. Klaviyo is great, and Push-Owl is another nice free one that you can use to also just another little push out to your followers. So I want to just talk a little bit about why I run meta ads before I've launched. And that can be hard because you've got to front load your budget a little bit, particularly for a side hustle. You don't know how much money you're going to make. That can be risky. But it's important to, one, have a really good budget and forecast, which can be hard at the start. But if you know how much you're going to make, then you should also know how much to spend safely. Now, nonetheless, there's always a little bit of risk associated with pre-spending, but it's important to, because I'll just simply reiterate that the Kickstarter story, the Indiegogo story, that the selling is done beforehand. The buying is done in the first 48 hours of launch. So, in my experience, there's plenty of brands that I've worked with who sell out in 1 or 2 days. 90% of their paid media budget is actually spent before launch. So that's actually a strategy. Yes, it does take a bit of guts to do that, but it'll pay you back on day one. And it just comes back to that concept that, a browser needs 30 to 70 days, sometimes more, to discover a product, research it, and then be comfortable buying. And knowing that we've got to move through our inventory in 3 months, we need to have strong opening day sales. We don't want to wait till we're getting momentum. We want to hit the ground running. So it's just about understanding that the psyche of a consumer is not see an ad and purchase. The psyche of a consumer is see an ad, do some research, see another ad, come back. You'll see that when a customer buys from you, they've often maybe clicked on a Google ad, engaged with socials, seen a Facebook ad. There's usually multiple touch points there. It's very rare for someone to see an ad and then click. That's part of the journey. So I'm suggesting that we start that journey before you intend to get those sales. That's why I run ads before I actually launch the product or the business. Now, it's obviously really important to have a great product. So we can have the best go-to-market strategy in the world and it could flop if our product's no good. So bringing a really strong product to market is critical to the success of this. It's going to make your job so much easier. And don't forget, good news travels. The best way to make a hugely profitable e-commerce business is to get a lot of organic interest in your product, free interest. And the best way to get organic interest is to have a really interesting product or brand. So it's important that you've solved a problem with your product. You haven't brought a generic product to market. You've got a genuine problem-solving product. You've got a product that will get people talking. If you're bringing that to the table, you've got a very good chance of having great opening day sales if you follow the go-to-market plan. But if you follow the go-to-market plan and you bring a subpar product to the table, which a lot of brands do, you're going to flop anyway. So it's really important that we have a good hype strategy, a good hype phase, coupled with an excellent product. Because at the end of the day, you're asking people to part with their hard-earned money. You need to give them a great product. So final thoughts on this is, when your customer or your potential customer is opening up your new business, your website, or your existing business and looking at your product, they're almost definitely opening up your competitor's website and having a look at that too, side by side. So what you need to ask yourself is, why would the customer choose your product over somebody else's? So I just want to hit that home. You need to have a unique selling point, at least one or two, on your product or in your product in order to get that sale across the line. That's the reality of the situation. We don't operate in isolation. We operate our businesses in an ecosystem filled with competitors, never more so than right now. So we've got to ask ourselves, if someone's got your web store open and that of your competitors, why will they choose you? So it's important to always remember that customers have more choice than ever. Why are they going to choose your product? They're not going to choose your product because they clicked on an ad and then found themselves on your site. No, customers are more savvy than that. So good thing to remember when you're bringing your business or your new product to market, just ask yourself that. Why would someone actually elect to add your product to cart and pay their hard-earned money on your product as opposed to that of your competitors? So just a final thought there, bringing really strong product to market as part of your overall go-to-market plan. So remember, guys, the important thing is 30 days before you intend to launch is where the marketing happens, not 30 days after. It's just that concept that don't think that we can launch and get straight into people's wallets. We've got to get into the conversation before we get into the wallet. So really important. Takes guts, but be brave. Business takes bravery. Business takes that mercurial decision making. Start getting busy with your product 30 days before the launch. You're going to have a much more impactful day one.